This is Mrs. Rogers again, and today's Tuesday, so we are uh, main focus today is to make sure we know all of the structures of the heart and to start learning the pathway through the heart. But again, it is futile to start the pathway until you know the four chambers, the four valves, and the four main blood vessels. It is imperative that you know those four before you can start to learn the pathway of blood through the heart. So today is a practice on that. I do have a few things that I need to make sure that I cover that I really didn't talk about yesterday. So today I would like to take a look again at uh, the four chambers, the four valves, and the four main blood vessels. So again, starting with the four chambers, here I think I'm going to go to, I like this one better. So here again is the right atrium, and this is the tricuspid valve, uh, or the right AV valve, separates the right atrium from the right ventricle. There's also now, from the right ventricle, there is the pulmonary semilunar valve, and it separates the right ventricle from the pulmonary artery. On the left side of the heart, we have the receiving chamber called the left atrium, and its valve called the left AV valve or the bicuspid valve because of these cusps. There's also a third name that I didn't mention yesterday, and that's called the mitral valve. So left AV, bicuspid, mitral valve, all the same names for this valve right here. So this is the left ventricle, and we said before that the left ventricle is a lot bigger. You can definitely see the cardiac tissue here is very, very thick compared to the right ventricle. And it has to have a lot of muscle there to when it contracts that it pushes blood through this aortic semilunar valve and out the aorta. So that's the reason why this whole thickness here is so thick. And again, this is where most of the myocardial infarctions occur in this tissue here. And it's called the myocardium. There's the endocardium, the myocardium, and the epicardium. And this is the myocardium here. So we've talked about the four chambers, the four valves, and now the four blood vessels. This is blue. Anything that's in blue tells us it's deoxygenated blood that travels through it. So this is called the vena cava. This is the superior vena cava, and it brings blood back to the heart from the head. And this is the inferior vena cava down here, and it brings blood back from the lower extremities. And it empties into the right atrium. The other blood vessels are, again, the pulmonary artery. Arteries carry blood away from the heart, and this is the only one that is deoxygenated because it's carrying blood to the lungs. And so this is heading to the lungs here, and then it's also heading to the lungs over here. So this is the right pulmonary artery, and this is the left. This is what they call the pulmonary trunk. So there's the vena cava, there's the pulmonary artery. There is the pulmonary veins here. This is the left pulmonary veins, and these over here are the right pulmonary veins, and they are red. They are the only vein that carries oxygenated blood because it is bringing blood from the lungs back to the heart. And it's going to empty its blood into this left atrium. So those are the four chambers, the four valves, and the four blood vessels. You really need to know those. This little thing down here is part of the aorta. The aorta goes up and then down. This is the abdominal aorta, and so it goes through the abdominal cavity. So again, knowing those four chambers and four valves and four blood vessels. So if you'll click on the links, there are a couple on the daily planner. There are a couple of practice ones to practice those. Here's one. an example. So inferior vena cava, you would click on it. So I'm going to click on this one. I think it is this one here, and it will tell you whether you are correct. So I'm going to do one more. Pulmonary trunk looks like this guy right here, and I am correct. The other practice, so if you'll practice that link. The other one is this one here, and it wants me to click on the aortic valve, which is this guy right here. I have to click on that little circle, aortic valve, and now it wants me to click on the right ventricle, and it gives me a time and a percent. The right ventricle is going to be over here. And now and click on the aorta and so on. So if you will practice those, it will help you learn that. And again, you can find those links on the Daily Planner, Heart Practice Labeling, in this Heart Anatomy quiz. I haven't tried the Web Anatomy. Let's click on that and show you what that looks like. So here is the heart, and you can do the short, and it just gives you a short number of answers possible. So I would just do the short, do the labeling. Let's go back. Blood vessels, let's see those. That may be, that's probably a little bit more advanced than what, because it goes into a lot more of the smaller ones. So primarily just do the heart, internal 1, 2, 3, and 4. Maybe the major arteries. Let's see if the major arteries. If it's, nope, we haven't done that yet either. So primarily the heart on this one. Heart 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you want to try the path of blood, you can try that, but that's where we'll be going next. But really important that you know those valves, chambers, and vessels. So that's sort of what this looks like if you want to start trying that. So today's focus, again, is learning those chambers, those valves, and those vessels. Do some practice labeling, and then you'll complete the heart worksheet, which looks like this here. So this is the heart worksheet that the substitute should be able to give you. So that's your focus today, is knowing those valves, chambers, and vessels. Do some practice labeling on those websites, and then complete the worksheet. Hopefully we'll see you in class tomorrow. If not, I will have posted another video. See you tomorrow.